have the ability to just bring people together.
Oh, that's very nice.
And you're always a great hugger. You're
I do
always, you mother everybody. Where's that come from?
I don't know. I guess that comes from just being a mom and just enjoy being around people, and probably on the campaign. You know, you see a lot of people, you talk to a lot of people, and I just, just happy and try to bring out the best in people.
Well, I noticed your name is Marty. Does that stand for like Martha?
Martha. I was named after my aunt, which is the sweetest lady ever. I'm like, Mom, how did you do that to poor Aunt Martha? Because she's so sweet, and I'm probably not as sweet. Well, I know I'm not as sweet as Aunt Martha, but she's a wonderful lady, so I had a lot to live up to.
Now, you say you're not as sweet. I know you are, because you are an advocate for so many things. But most importantly, I think you've made your mark with 8 pieces of legislation passed.
9.
9 now. 9 now.
We signed the 9th one this session.
With human trafficking. And you became aware of it on the campaign trail.
Well, actually, after.
After?
After we went, before he was even sworn in, it was January 2nd, and there was a press conference at Atlantic Station, and they had 72 school buses, which represented 3,600 kids that are taken just in Georgia a year. And the girls were with us, and Brian and I went, and we were all shocked. I mean, I was like, this doesn't happen in Georgia. Nobody's been talking about it. And then we dug into it more, and I realized why they're not talking about it, and we were going to talk about it. So really, the legislators have been phenomenal. I mean, it has passed almost unanimously on every piece of legislation. I mean, it's a bipartisan issue. Everybody wants to get on board. And this year, I've had Representative Bazemore, who's been a great, great partner and a great friend. So she's ready to go to work too, again. But a lot of other legislators have done really some great work on it.
But I love what the changes you've brought about. The one that I think hit me most was a lot of these young women need to change their names.
Exactly, and I got that from a survivor. So we really have talked to the survivors about what their needs are, and the nonprofits. So that's really why the Grace Commission was formed, was to bring all the experts to the table and see what they needed and see what the things were going to be to help not only make harsher penalties on the perpetrators, but to also help the survivors, because they really have nothing when they come out. I mean, they need help, they need a lot of different things. And so that was one of the biggest issues. I had a survivor come to me and she said, I've been trying to change my name for years. And they had to put it in the paper. So, I mean, it's like, they're trying to run from their, bad abuser. And so why you're going to let them know that here I am, I have to put this in the paper for a year. So that was an easy piece of legislation, which we didn't even know about, but it was hurting them and hampering them from getting to start their life over.
And so many of them have been arrested when it should have been the other way around.
Exactly, because they were made to do things that they just to survive. I mean, they're scared to death, they've been abused. I mean, the statistics on it is just gut-wrenching. And so we were just like happy. The vacature bill to let them, wipe their slates clean was really formed by them. And they wanted to make it harsher. I know they've come back now, I think, but it was a year. The first piece of legislation was you had to, be clean a year before you could get your slate clean. And so now I think it's come back, it's a little different. But as long as it helps them, that's all I care about.
So what has been the result? What have you heard from some of the women who gave you the ideas of what they needed now that they're starting a new life?
Thank you. I mean, nobody cared about us. Our second Grace Commission meeting, we have open comment at the end from the public. And I had been told that there were a couple of survivors there. And so they got up and they gave it to me pretty tough. And I remember the AG and the Lieutenant Governor at the time in 2019, they're like, we got this. And I'm like, no, I got this. And so I stood up and I said, you're right, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what you've been through. But if I can help one of you, then I'm here to do that. And you can sit at this table, but I wanted to respect your privacy that you haven't had forever and, make sure that you were protected. And I said, in fact, one of the girls standing there talking to me, you were the speaker at Atlantic Station. You're the reason I learned about this, and you're the reason I'm fighting for it. And she started crying. I've just got chills again. And she was like, nobody's ever listened to us. Nobody's ever asked us. And I said, exactly, but you can sit at this table if you would like to. So, that's what keeps me fighting for them, is looking in their eyes, looking into their hearts and their souls, that nobody's ever hugged them loved them in the unconditional way they deserve to be loved.